It should have been me on stage with the jig parlors, cause it's everyday bro with the isotony flow.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Apollo Justice. So when we last left off we were cross-examining Lamara, so let's just jump right back into it. So if you remember, we got our perceive ability, so I reckon let's give it a little whirl, huh?
I saw nothing. The light.
Oh, hello.
Gotcha!
Yeah, we got it. The late Mr. Latus's body, you say?
Yes?
You know something more about Mr. Latus's death than you're saying.
What?
I could see you trying not to remember, but the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes.
It is true. I was so terrible. It was so terrible. I was great, actually, after all. Why did Mr. Latus have to be shot?
One moment, Lamara.
Yes?
What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Latus have to be shot?
Yes?
She was hiding something, I knew it! Lamara, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony.
Eh? How could that be?
Take this! Lamara contradicted her own testimony, and I have the evidence to prove it! Yeah, we do.
Take that!
Tell me, Lamara, how did you know he had been shot?
Eh? Well,
Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is a document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yet you knew that Mr. Latus had been shot! How could you have known?
Yark!
Joanna, they just did that thing again where she likes, gets all still for like 5 seconds. It's very strange, I noticed that the Apollo Justice man over there, he was like eyeing her up really weirdly as well. You know what I'm saying, Judge?
Yes, Clavier, but that's kind of par for the course in this courtroom. You should have seen it. One time there was a bird, there were two people, but they were actually different people, and at a certain point, we just have to get on with the trial.
Okay. So let's get on with the trial, I guess is the point of that.
Lamara, you aren't hiding something from this court, I hope.
That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet.
Now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony.
Of course. All we want to know is the truth.
She looks kind of pale, huh?
She saw something. I know it. Even the victim said so. You saw bullet holes in the wall, did ya? I don't think you did. But we will press. Hold on. Let's give it a... Actually, no. Let's save the wavies.
Hold it!
Only a glimpse, yet you knew there were bullet holes.
Yes, I recognized them immediately. I have seen bullet holes before,
You have traveled the world as a singer. You must have sung in places far more dangerous than our country.
I go wherever my voice is needed. Those places are many these days.
That's really cool. I hope I get to travel like Lamara someday.
I plan on recording my next album overseas. Their studios have a different sound, Maybe I should go on a Chords of Steel tour too. What is a Chords of Steel tour? Oh, Lamara, you're full of shit. Lamara, they call you the siren of the ballad. But lies are hardly becoming of such a creature.
Put down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, though, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can I be cool just for once? Observe the diagram! Lamira, you looked in from the door for just a moment, correct?
Yes, that is so.
There were bullet holes in the room, yes. But they were in the wall. The door is on!
Eh?
You see? Assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes!
Lamira,
Yes?
I'm afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something.
Then I must tell you. I must tell you what it is that I saw.
Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded, and I'm certain it will be on the news in Virginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it.
Personally speaking, I still believe that the cross-examination... I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Latus died! And he named her as a witness! You must have seen something, Lamira!
Very well. Lamina, please continue your testimony.
Very well. I shall.
Oh, Lamira, what you up to? What you hiding?
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Machi. It was a grown person. I know it was.
So you did witness the crime, and the killer was a grown person, you say?
This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice player, forehead.
Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin your cross-examination.
Great going, Apollo. You were right about Lamira. What's wrong? You don't look too happy.
This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong.
Huh?
Does smell a bit fishy. Bit of a courthouse trout we got. What I'm saying. How y'all doing anyway? Hope you're doing alright. I have been having, as always, a pretty rough time. But this recording is going well. I'm enjoying myself. And I hope you guys are enjoying yourselves too. Remember to check in with yourselves. You know, get that food in, get the water, whatever you need, okay? It's not unimportant. You are very important, okay? You tell yourself that I said so, okay? If that helps. Oh, goody. So you were heading towards the dressing room?
Yes.
So this is a little before she opened the dressing room door and dropped her brooch. About the same time Emma and I heard their shots.
I was on my way back.
What exactly is something like a little window?
Yes, well, window is the best word I know in English. I think this is how it is said, yes.
You need not worry, Lamira. Your choice of words is impeccable. There is a small window in the dressing room in question. Perhaps the defense remembers this detail? That little window on the wall.
I, saw the crime from there.
You are certain you heard 2 shots fired?
Yes, quite certain. I was on my way to the backstage exit. This was when I heard a faint sound, like a gunshot. Wondering what it had been, I peered through the window. That is when I heard the second gunshot, much closer.
And there were 2 bullet holes at the scene. No contradictions so far.
It all happened on the other side of that window. There was nothing I could do.
It wasn't Machi you shot. Are you sure?
Yes, quite certain.
It amuses me that you question her testimony. This testimony in your favor. Isn't it my job to object?
Yeah, Apollo, what were you thinking?
Casey, let's just listen to what Lamora has to say. Can you tell me how you were so sure?
Yes, of course. You see.
A grown person? That's a little vague.
I am sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
Certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female.
It was a man. A young man.
And you're sure of that?
Yes, his voice was quite clear.
Voice?
Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter.
As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man.
So you heard the voice, but wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Letus?
Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Letus who spoke, I would have known.
Indeed. So you were at the window and you heard the shooter's voice. The voice of a young man.
Apollo, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Machi.
Indeed. If this turned out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of this testimony?
Oh, the temptation. Oh, nah, mate. We gotta go with the truth, don't we? Though it pains me to say this, there's something about Lamora's testimony that rings false. Bravo, forehead. You're colder than I thought. I'm sure you remember the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. I'm sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As it's been established, no grown man could pass through that errand. He couldn't have even fled the scene of the crime.
But that means Lamora has to be lying.
I know, and I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting. It is as her forehead says, yet this is not the only contradiction within her testimony. What next? What's he talking about? Lamora, I understand why you would want to protect Machi. Yet remember, you are the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become such a creature.
What does the prosecution mean?
Apollo, what's he talking about?
How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. The state of the room? Yes, and when the murder took place, that window was closed. I find it hard to believe that you could hear a voice through it.
What? But I'm sure.
Lamora, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. But my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser.
Objection!
But she's the only eyewitness we have!
Objection!
So you say. And the victim named her the siren as the witness? That's right! That's what, Mr. Letus. We heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility. And it brought us to this. A judge! Yes! Oh gosh. The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please.
I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility.
But if Lamora can't testify,
Then we don't have a chance of proving Machi's innocence.
This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case.
Danke. Now where were we? Ah, yes. I would like to hear from the Fraulein detective again.
Objection!
Wait! Let me hear Lemurot's testimony one last time!
But the cross-examination is already over, until such a time as a need arises. This witness may leave the stand.
I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance.
At last, back to the real trial. Ready, foreheads? Ugh! I hope I didn't miss my only chance. Fräulein Detective, how far have we gotten until we so rudely interrupted?
Don't ask me.
I dislike saying the same thing twice, and I never repeat the song for an encore.
If you would, Miss Sky.
I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Latus's killer could have escaped was through that air vent on the ceiling.
Oh yes, there was only one door in the room, and a witness, you, was standing in front of it.
That air vent isn't very big, see? Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through.
I certainly will have a difficult time.
You sure would. Not that you would have been there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The only one who meets the conditions for our killer is the defendant.
A virtuoso performance. I couldn't have put it better myself.
She does state a clear case. Though, reading the report, something caught my eye.
Oh, what's that?
The circumstances of the defendant's arrest.
Their circumstances? Again?
Hey, that's right, Apollo! Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre!
She's right. Why did Mr. Latus's body disappear from the room and end up on top of that stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less. A perceptive observation, Judge.
Oh, thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough. You get a nose for things.
The judge sure seems pleased with himself.
Very good, Fräulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us. Why was the body moved? And how does that lead us to the killer? Not a lot of room for comedy in these last 15 minutes. Oh goodness. Yeah, quite serious what we're talking about, really, isn't it? Oh goodness. I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lamara's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim, and Machi practically left his signature at the scene. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant. Lamara's song? Yes, the guitar serenade. Notice this quote too, did you not? It's code? All the events that day followed the lyrics for our song. First, the keys made my heart held on to so tight were stolen. Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Mr. Latus's life was taken by a bullet. The worst hardly needs explanation. Guitar, up together to the sky.
That's mad. It's like a story out of some fairy tale.
I admit, I'd forgotten about the song. But there it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale, as it were.
Hey, you know I was the one who first noticed that.
I've heard of jumping rope to songs and counting to songs. But killing the...
It's a wild world out there, Judge.
Very well. We've heard one song and dance. Let's get on to the next. The cross-examination.
Not sure I'm going to be doing much singing. Ah, I would love to see the the Ace Attorney musicals. There are a bunch of them in Japan, and we just don't get them over here. It's really sad. I also don't think there's an Apollo Justice one, when there should be. There should be. I mean, he's Courts of Steel. Like, you can't You can't disinvite the Court of Steel. Oh. Who would steal a body just to match some lyrics?
I didn't believe it myself, but it can't just be a coincidence.
It is as Twilight Detective says. Let us begin with the first verse, if you would, Twilight Detective.
What? You want me to sing it?
You are the witness, yeah. Or did you want me to sing? I warn you, my fee as a vocalist is not trivial.
Fine. Let's look at the first part of the lyrics, shall we? When you stole away the keys, my heart held on to so tight.
Indeed, my favorite heart-shaped keyring was stolen that morning.
Next, we go to the right page of lyric sheet, where we find... I just gotta wait for the beat. Hang on in my heart, fire burn my love away, all away. That's pretty good, right? I mean, I thought so. I feel like you guys should be applauding right now. Guys, that was really good. Okay, fine. Like a bullet of love fire, take my life away, all away. See what happens when you don't applaud me, guys? You don't get a song, okay? Testimony over. Mr. Latu.
Oh god, it's been like 20 minutes since I've been able to do a little bit like that, so I'm enjoying it. Oh goodness.
Mr. Latu's life was taken by a bullet.
Bravo, Twilight Detective. But you're singing. It's not bad.
Finally, someone! I mean, it could be literally anyone else, but the, you know, FOP over there.
Did you say FOP or F?
No, FOP. I definitely meant FOP. Don't look into it more. There's no subtle homophobia to all of my dialogue towards the one person who kind of presents femme as a masked individual.
Now for the finale. Oh goodness. Guitar up together in the sky. As it says in the lyrics, Mr. Latour's was found with a guitar high in the sky over the stage. No series of coincidences could be so well conceived.
He's right, scientifically speaking.
What would Waki have said?
That concert was whack, man. It should have been me on stage with the Jig Parlors, cause it's everyday bro with the isotony flow. I don't know the lyrics, but I won't go slow. I'm gonna go. I'm Waki Yo. I'm gonna kill you with a knife and gun, bo.
Did you just say bo?
Shut up, man. You're whack. Jig Paul out.
I guess that's what he would have said, yeah.
It's hard to argue when she pours her heart into it like that. Anyway, the shooter...
Anytime Wookie is brought up, I have the best time. I'm just like...
It's, you know, it's every day, bro. You know?
Does the prosecution... Oh my god. Oh, it's nice to laugh.
It's nice to laugh.
Alright, back to it. Does the prosecution have any idea why he'd do all of this?
You want my scientific opinion? No clue. But he clearly had a reason to go through all that trouble. Some deep reason.
A deep reason? Not only did he steal my keys, he torched my guitar. Unforgivable acts even if he had a reason. And worse if he had none.
The Diva's complaints aside, I can't imagine someone just doing this on a whim.
Well, like detective, I take offense at that description.
Indeed, it does seem too well rehearsed, shall we say.
Yes, this crime was planned for sure.
Just clap in the corner like, I don't like it when she bullies me, you know. I'm so cool. Don't you see my jacket and my little necklace? It's got my name on it. It's not even like my full name. It's like the G, you know? G for G. Isn't that right, Focky?
Yeah, man, real G's.
You know what, Focky? You've actually proved their point that maybe I'm not that cool. So maybe we just move on, okay?
But Mr. Latu spoke English! He may have come to this country before! I looked into that, I assure you. Oh, it was his first time in the country, it seems. Apparently he learned English on his own. Great.
You see, no one here had a motive to kill him, and certainly not in such an elaborate fashion.
It does seem difficult to imagine.
Unless our famous prosecutor did it as a publicity stunt.
Wait, what did you say?
Prosecutor Gavin, you did this to promote your song?
Of course not! And I'm quite dismayed by the ludicrous nature of our claim. Why would I need promotion? Everybody already listens to my music.
They're even in my textbooks at school.
And I never heard of them. What does that say about me?
I was just kidding. Don't get so worked up, Glimmer Boy.
Glimmer Boy. Oh, Emma. I'm getting like jealous trans mask vibes from you, honestly, I have to say. I mean, that's probably not fair for me to say. I have said it though. Yeah, I don't know. Whenever anyone is like expressing like irritation towards someone who is like kind of looking genderqueer, I feel like there's resentment there, you know? At least that's my experience of it. And that resentment can often be a result of like having not acted on your own internalized desires, you know, for so long, and then you see someone else who's kind of living that way, and it annoys you unconsciously, you know? At least that's how it was for me pre-transition, like, yeah, so I don't know, it's probably my experience being projected, but I do think there's an intersection of people out there who will understand what I'm saying, at the very least, you know? Anyway.
What do you mean by his signature? The bullet holes in the wall, of course.
The bullet holes?
The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall.
And that means what exactly?
That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult, almost impossible, to miss at that range.
Difficult to miss, you say?
Very. Assuming the shooter could probably aim.
No, you can't be serious!
Machi! He can't see! That's why he missed! It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly.
That reminds me. The monitor in that room was blaring at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal for conditions like tracking sound.
A blind shooter. No wonder he missed.
I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Think, Justice. What do I do now?
Oh, I don't think sit back and watch. I think sit back and watch has been an option like once, and it's been like an appropriate option. Yeah, 9 out of 10 times. Raise the objection.
Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. But that doesn't prove the cooter couldn't see. But that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see.
Oh? How so?
Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim.
That's certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolver?
The revolver was a very large caliber, correct?
If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, why, it could dislocate their shoulder.
Exactly. The defendant, Machi Tobai, is, as you can see, tiny. He's such a small boy. I don't even know where he is right now. Is he in my pocket? We don't know. We just don't know. So it's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would throw off his aim.
A convincing argument, to be sure.
Ha ha! Take that, smug prosecution!
Apollo.
What?
That bit about Machi being tiny. And the gun throwing off his aim? Aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it?
Oh. Fuck! Oh, I spooked Lucky. It's okay, Papa. It's okay. You go back to bed, baby. You go back to bed. It's okay, Goober. It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point.
Yuck! Cripes, I really put my foot in it this time.
But let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If you vote for our line detective...
Very well. The witness will add this to our testimony.
Right. From the state of the crime scene, I conclude the shooter was blind.
Oh, is that such a good conclusion to draw, though? Is it? Ooh. Alright, quick savey wavy. Actually, let's press first. No! Not this time. Don't worry. We'll have time to present the attendance badge to everyone we know. Don't worry, Apollo.
You can't say he was blind just because of those bullet holes in the wall. I think I've proven that.
I wouldn't call it proof, per se.
Huh?
You merely waste the possibility. Frontline Detective has made the most logical conjecture based upon the evidence. Of course, there's more evidence than just bullet holes. The defendant was the only one who could have escaped to the air vent.
Objection!
But wait! If he was blind, how would he know about the air vent in the first place?
A very good point. Well, Frontline Detective, if you will care to explain.
He certainly seems sure of himself.
Recall the crime scene, if you would. There was a stepladder below the air vent. As it happens, maintenance was scheduled for that day. Custodial staff went around checking all the air vents.
I don't believe it.
Everyone backstage was told about the maintenance, including Machi Tobai. He would have known that there would be a way out at the top of that stepladder.
But that's... Why is this the first time I'm hearing about this?
You could have figured it out for yourself. You only needed to consider what that stepladder was doing there.
Looks like the defense's objection have been squished by a stepladder.
It's a freaking ladder, Your Honor! I will not have this discriminatory system in place! Apollo, it's a stepladder! Even the judge agrees!
Yes, Apollo, now sit down.
I refuse! I will climb the ladder to heaven!
Jeez, Apollo, that's kind of morbid!
Yeah, I didn't mean it to sound so morbid! I'll sit down now!
Valid for it. What the fuck was that? Out of ammunition, perhaps?
I've never seen Prosecutor Gavin so aggressive! Maybe he's caught the scent of blood.
Apollo! Don't you have something? Anything? You know what we need? We need something to prove the killer could see! That'll put him in his place.
Proving the shooter was sighted would do it. That would take down one of their central points. Do I have any evidence I can prove that, though?
I think we do, actually. I think we do.
Fine. I accept the prosecution's challenge.
As I knew you would, there, Forehead.
What exactly am I up against here? The prosecution is saying the shooter missed because I couldn't see. Therefore, Machi, who's blind, did it.
The defense will please present their evidence. Evidence that overturns the prosecution's claim that the shooter could not see.
I think it might be this.
This is that evidence!
The photograph of the crime scene.
I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face. But this is no time to think twice. Time to press on! Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There is something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point.
Then perhaps you'd best show us this something.
Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah?
Very well, show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. The contradiction at the scene of the crime is...
Take that!
The contradiction is right here!
The smeared bloodstains!
I thought it was just my blurry vision, but it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head, much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court.
It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha! I get it! At least, I think I get it.
Get what, Fraulein?
When Mr. Lettuce was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write it in but his own blood? Pretty good, huh?
Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here.
That does seem to be a distinct possibility.
The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. Yeah, I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that.
Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were the killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Neither would I. No one has anything else to say?
About what?
So, the prosecution accepts this? You agree that this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer? And that the killer tried to rub the name out?
What's your point?
What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know that the victim was writing their name?
Well, Mr. Lettuce was writing something in blood once the killer saw what it was. Wait.
Once he saw what it was.
But what do you just testify about the shooter?
I said they were blind.
Ah! Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that! The killer had to have been able to see! Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court that the defendant, Machi Tobai, is blind! He couldn't have been the shooter!
Impossible!
Order! 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 Prosecutor Gavin, please explain to me what this all means. I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see, yet up until now.
It seems I owe the court an apology.
Ma?
To Gavin is our band with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred during our concert. Apparently this caused some confusion over the jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner. I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here.
Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't. And he's about to tell us.
I've got an idea. Let's rock! With these documents. But before that, I have a question for the Fraulein detective, if I may.
What?
Tell me, why do you think that Machi Tobai is blind?
Huh?
What did he say?
What are you saying? Of course he's blind.
Of course.
He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lamar lead him around by the hand all the time?
No way. I have a report here on the defendant, Machi Tobai. According to this, Machi Tobai can see perfectly well.
What?
His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Bogenians. He can see quite well.
Objection!
But you said... What did I say exactly? Her forehead, not once in the course of this trial have I ever claimed that the defendant was blind. The only one who did that was the Fraulein detective. But that's a significant fact, yes. Consider, Machi Tobai sees, and he was the only one who could have fled through the air vent. I see no problems with this.
But what about the bullet holes in the wall?
As to bullet holes, I believe our forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the 45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. Ugh! How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies. Ugh! This is where the real fun begins, Airforehead. Yeah! I knew you didn't have what it took.
You jerk! Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize!
Oh, sorry.
That's no way to apologize!
It's angered the Trucy now. Look out.
If we can please end the bickering now.
Whatever, I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me!
But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant.
Oh, don't say that.
Aha!
Uh-huh? What?
This bloodstain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right?
That seems to be what happened, yes.
We might be able to find out what was really written here.
Really? You can do that?
That's right, with this. It's called luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood.
Oh, yes. Have we done those tests yet?
As if I'm gonna tell you.
The bloodstains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we requested it in a court and it's been a long day, okay, guys? You know, I didn't do my vocal warm-ups, you know? It's this thing I do called Swords of Steel, you know? It's very cool, very hip, you know? And I don't think anyone else would know much about it.
Apollo, let it go!
No, I have to...
Let it go, Apollo!
Perhaps we should request it in the court now.
Right, go for it, Apollo.
Huh? I have to do the test?
You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple.
A chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere.
Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it.
Cough, cough. Right, ready. It's easy as pie. Just press X to spray an area. Here, give it a try.
The eyes of the entire court are focused on me.
Apollo, your hand's shaking.
Let's do this! I'm gonna do it! I want to see! I did it! I'm the best. My name's Apollo Justice. And I'm fine. Quick water break.
Woo!
Wow, it really works!
This must be the power of science! It says IPXX314206. Is that the killer's name? Did Elon Musk name this child? Did someone accidentally scan a barcode when they were inputting the name of their child? Is this Missing No? Have we found Missing No?
Maybe it is Missing No. If the killer was a robot! Some kind of Missing No bot.
Haha, I have it. So what is it? I saw those letters IPXX looked familiar. This is an Interpol IT number.
Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency?
Yes, most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes. But why would he write that number? Why would Mr. Latus even know a number like that? Good job, Wildlife Detective. Rock on.
Huh?
To your honor! We can verify this number immediately. Tarian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand. Tarian, you heard what we need. Go check into this Interpol IT number. Sure thing, give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27. It's a very specific amount of minutes. I'll give you 30, sir, and you will like it.
I'm not sure what to think of all of this. The prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems. Yet if this number is really that of an Interpol agent.
Oh, wait, I know! What if Machi Tobai is really an undercover Interpol agent?
That would be a possibility.
A possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as the killer for certain.
Why did Latus know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time while we await Darian's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Machito Baye. What are you talking about? Twilight Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could in fact see just before the trial began. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you.
You had me until that last bit.
Does this not also raise a rather straightforward question?
Well, sure. Why did Machi pretend he couldn't see?
Exactly. It makes little sense. What do you think, Forehead?
Huh? Me?
Machito Baye pretended he was blind. Do you know why?
How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he?
He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time. The sexy motherfucker. He texted me and then he ghosted me 10 weeks after. 10 weeks after we fucked. I guess that's a long time for me to have texted him in the first place. So maybe I ghosted him. Sorry, Clavier. Do you know what, Forehead? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Sometimes words are just words. Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? Not at the moment I heard that report, I knew why.
I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else.
What does that have to do with anything? There was a reason why Machito Baye pretended to be blind, but it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now? It wasn't for himself?
Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign blindness?
Machi had no reason to pretend he couldn't see, which means... No, it couldn't be. Good sure, Forehead. It seems you've thought of something. Ugh! Why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my cues from this guy. Very well. Look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see.
Take that!
That is... Lamira?
Lamira and Machito Baye. Recall their relationship. In particular, their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country.
Lamira and her pianist. They would always walk together, she leading him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she would lead him to the piano. She would walk all the way over there with him.
That's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never letting him go.
All the times.
Yet, we've just learned something that makes her arrangement peculiar indeed. Machi could see. Why did they have to keep up this act the whole time?
Well, wasn't it part of their performance?
I think there's a simpler explanation. Machi did not need to be led by the hand at all. That can only mean one thing. Really? Really? It was all the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was Lamirar.
What's this? So you mean to say that Laminar is... she's...
Yes, Your Honor. Lamirar is blind. What?
Order! This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin!
Is it now?
Please shed some sanity on this madness. The defense has made an outrageous claim.
The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it is not vast in vain, this time. He's quite correct.
But that makes no sense.
Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something?
Well, since we have her here, why not ask Lamirar herself? I believe she's still in the witness waiting room.
Apollo, what does this mean for our case?
Don't ask me, I had no idea she couldn't see. I hadn't even imagined it until now.
Bailiff, bring in Lamirar!
I think we're gonna leave it here, folks. Exciting though, huh? Lamara can't see who saw this coming. Definitely not Lamara, because she can't see. Did you guys see that coming? I didn't the first time. I was like, what? Then again, I wasn't paying too much attention the first time. Or this time, really. But yeah, kind of crazy, huh? So, next episode, I reckon we'll continue with the cross-examination of Lamara. I hope you guys are doing well. Check in with yourselves. Make sure you eat, make sure you drink, stay gay, stay hydrated, do all the good things, like, share, subscribe, comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.